I'd like to call the February 4th Planning Board to order. We have a couple appointments tonight, some old business, some new business, and we'll start right off with Fran. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. If you could just give a quick overview.
Sure, I think since we last met, we've had a site walk, and at the last meeting, we were asked to submit a revised application, which we did. And so I think at this point, we'd like to move to approval of the revised application sketch plan, and then we've reviewed preliminary submissions with Tom, and so that's where we're at.
I think procedurally we've got to go through and approve your sketch plan first.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, basically the drawing you have is an elaborate sketch plan. So,
Right.
But we talked about it before.
Yes.
So, just on record, we need to approve the sketch plan so that it gets you to a preliminary plan. I mean, the big changes were the lot going out to the trust,
Exactly.
and then the drainage easement coming in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's it, check it. Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve the sketch plan as presented.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Listen, I'm in a butter, so I'm
Okay.
gonna use myself in these.
Can I see you sitting? Just sit out.
Sure.
Thanks. I'll second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any comment on this? This is just for sketch plan? To approve it as a sketch plan?
Oh, okay, sure.
No discussion? All those in favor? It's 4-0 with one abstention. Actually, no, you got to stay out for the whole thing. Sorry. You want to do a Dunkin's run? Okay. Yeah, we got the checklist. I think, Tom, you got the same one we've got. I think the best, if we go through it, number 6 has a note for note 10. Individual driveways are needed or proposed, location to be reviewed,
Yes.
and then culverts if needed.
Yes,
How
and I
many-
believe I updated note 10. Let's just take a quick peek. I believe I
Oh yeah,
addressed
driveways and culverts if needed. Okay.
that. Yeah.
Let's see, note 2. The next one was that we had a comment on was location names and present widths of existing and proposed streets, easements, building lines, parks, and other open spaces. And we have C note number 2.
That was under 7, yeah. And that addresses the limits of the right-of-way of Clarksbridge Road.
Okay. Oh, okay. Boundary survey contours. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're set on that. Contour lines. I don't know whether we did it formally before, if we waived that, but I mean that's.
Well, what we
waived it back.
what we
We did?
what we
Okay.
discussed was we waived contours beyond the 500 feet.
Right.
And we provided 2-foot contours within 500 feet of Clarksbridge Road. So there was a partial waiver.
Okay.
And that's noted on the plan under the planning board signatures.
Okay. All right. Test pit 13 and 14 are going to be resubmitted.
They were submitted with, this checklist Tom and I went over early January.
Okay.
Prior to the January 8th submission. So in the packet that you got, dated January 8th, those test pits have been added. We had to dig 2 more test pits in order to get 2 test pits on each lot because we shifted
Yeah.
the lots a little bit north.
Okay.
So those are under soils in the back, behind the soils map. There's a little cover letter there.
Right, so we're set on that. Deed description, plan of perimeter, survey of tract. That's number 11. We have parent parcel deed submitted. You guys have some final details you're working out.
Yes,
Okay.
we've received some recommendations from the town attorney and the land trust attorney, and those are being worked into the final document
Okay.
for the
And
land
do
trust.
you foresee any issues before final?
No.
Okay.
No.
Connection existing we have private wells. Sewage is set private. Drainage easements for DPW. All right. Yes.
If I could just pass over to you, this just arrived. The board had asked in the past for documentation from the Director of Public Works.
Oh, yes.
Because he reviewed the drainage. What is being passed out now is a copy that I just received vis-a-vis Fran from Mr. Foglio. And it reads, read it into the record. The drainage plan revisions dated January 22nd, 15 meet our request. Thank you, Mr. Foglio.
Okay.
And this is a practice that we're trying to do with all site plan reviews, actually with site plan reviews and subdivisions, to have the documentation. So
We're still working on getting it timely, though, right?
the timing, we still have
I'll take it. I mean, we're not take it, but timely is nice.
step by step.
Yes. All right. So it was all staked out when we were there. I'm sure now it's buried. The original homestead is out of it. And soil erosion sediment control plan, we have a waiver that that was requested.
Yes, and that waiver is still pending.
What's it pending with?
But the board needs to act on it.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I can speak on that. There's not only an ordinance, but there's a state regulation. I would recommend the board do not grant that waiver.
What was it? I'm sorry, Glenn, what was it?
It is soil and sediment erosion is a state regulation that the planning board doesn't have jurisdiction to waive. It's also a Waterboro ordinance.
Okay.
I realize that, they're selling the lots off separately, but I fear the planning board giving a blanket waiver on erosion control would be a mistake. Because you just don't have jurisdiction to waive a state regulation.
I asked Lou to be prepared to address that tonight.
Okay.
Before
Okay.
it's addressed, this is sort of a complicated waiver. Part of the waiver is not to overlook or go through the details of soil erosion and sedimentation. It's more not to secure the endorsement from the York County Soil and Water Conservation District. In lieu of that, the board has been receiving detailed technical stormwater reports, and I think that will be addressed tonight, and hopefully the soil erosion portion of it too.
I guess I can try to answer your questions. I'm Lou Chamberlain from Attar Engineering, and I did the drainage report and talked to Fran a little bit today or last week about the erosion and sedimentation control plan and the waiver. Basically, normally we would do a set of plans for E&S control if we were doing a design for like a contractor to build or something. These houses will be built by probably 4 different home contractors, and typically what we do is provide a detail for a typical house lot and what you need to do as far as silt fence and loaming and seeding and things like that, that just directs them to put silt fence in the proper location, and that loam and seed will be installed and stabilized. So we could certainly submit this for your review and have this put in with any building permit that was issued. This could go out to the contractor to tell them that they need to do this and be inspected or followed.
I guess, Glenn, looking at it, I mean, we have no infrastructure going into this.
No, but the regulations are clear in that it says no sediment or erosion material shall leave the site, a particular site. So I fear that giving a blanket waiver will show the potential buyers a misconception that they don't have to deal with soil and erosion control, and that's not true.
How about if we do, we've seen it before where the design actually submits, swale designs, and there's actually, one of the drawings actually shows like silt fence placement and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could either do it that way or make it clear on the plans that the individual property owners are still responsible for erosion sedimentation control.
Okay.
Could we add a note that references this sketch, Glenn? Do you think that would
I would like to see something on the drawing so that
I would too.
it's actually filed.
Yeah, I would too.
It's actually, it's part of the, does that mean
We could put that on.
for the board?
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
It
I'd
should
like
be
to
on
see
the
it
plan.
someplace in writing, not just a piece of paper stapled to the back.
Yeah.
See.
That way, so when the contractor shows up, he goes, oh, that means I have to do this.
You can use it for scratch
It'd be
paper.
easy enough.
Right, it's gonna be on the first piece of
Create
paper.
an addition and just put it with it,
Okay.
if that's what
Tom?
you'd be more comfortable with.
Yep.
You could do two things that would be fairly easy to accomplish. Is put a plan notation on it and subject to CEO's approval, which will be sort of a carte blanche. And then as a reference, have a typical, and that's a typical soil erosion plan for a residential. In this schematic that Glenn and I have taken a look at, although very general, at least it points out some of the things that you were referencing.
Yeah, I'd like to see, I mean, I was speaking by myself, but as a board member, not the chair. I mean, my concern with, at somebody's discretion, leaves open variables, and I'd rather see, per the enclosed sheet or per something, so we have a note on here. I mean, they're just standard cut and pastes,
Yeah.
but,
We could put it together on a plan sheet.
and just have
submit
it, that way
two
it's,
sheets.
And I can add, and I'll add a note to the plan that references it.
okay. I mean, Judy, you okay with that? Tim?
Yes.
I believe? Okay.
I like it.
Okay, great, thank you. Just you want to keep that, Tom, that little sketch, or?
Do you want this one?
I do not.
Okay.
And the last item we have on here is number 24 on the checklist, which is the centralized mail delivery. And I can close my drawing back up. But that's already taken care of on note number 9. So we have that. Does anybody have any questions about the checklist?
Yeah, I just have one minor thing. At the bottom of the plan, it shows what looks like a right-of-way to those back lands, conservation lands.
Right, that will be part of the conveyance to
So
the
that will
land
be a
trust.
public right-of-way to that back
It's,
70-something acres.
it'll be part of what the land trust owns. They will own that strip,
Okay.
yes.
Thanks.
It's included in the fee conveyance.
That's good, so it's not landlocked. Next step is we have to schedule a public hearing.
Okay,
We got a public hearing scheduled, so I mean, it looks like you guys are ready to go. So if we can get it in
I'm sorry, say again?
for public hearing, I mean, it looks like the applicant is ready.
Once the board determines their decision on this preliminary plan, then you'll definitely want to set up a public hearing
All right, so I mean,
prior to your final.
I'll make a motion to accept the preliminary plan with the note changes we just discussed from the checklist.
second?
Judy second. Any discussion? All those in favor? 4 with 1 abstention for approving the procedural. The procedure, preliminary. Next, can we get it on the 18th for the public hearing?
We already have a public hearing on the 18th for the conditional use, adding the wording to the conditional use for the AR.
Can we do it right after that?
I don't see why not.
guess-
She doesn't need the 2-week, the 10-day notification. I can get hers. I can probably post it with the Journal Tribune.
The one that would be before you could either be very quick or very long.
She also has to remember that when you notify the abutters of the public hearing, you have to give them a 10-day window to get responses back to us.
Okay, so I have to notify them for the public hearing.
Yes, that is your responsibility.
And do I have to do that certified mailing as well?
Yeah, make sure we
Yeah.
get
Okay.
the copies of the tags.
Because I've already done one certified mailing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that will be on the 18th.
So you want to still do it on the 18th, or March 4th, you requested that you do a workshop regarding the design standards?
Right.
Then you could do the public hearing that night and just not make a decision. Right now, there's nothing else on the agenda for March 4th based on your request to do a workshop.
I guess my concern would be that we still have issues with the deed, with the land transfer, and I'm not sure, would that be resolved in 10 days?
I think we're really close to having a final deed. I would say yes.
I guess, what's the board's thought?
We could try it sooner, and if it doesn't look like it's coming together, we could postpone it until the next one. till
Right,
March.
but then I'd have to do two certified mailings,
that might
which
not
is
be
there's a
good.
lot of abutters. I'd rather just, Neil and Scott, do you have any feelings on it? Is it March?
I'm not good.
Would March 4th,
I'm not gonna be in.
Fourth would be fine.
Yeah.
Give us more time to.
to just get things ironed out with that deed? And
Let's
is March 4th all right with you?
Yeah.
You're not gonna break-
It's a
you're not gonna
workshop,
break
so
ground
we wouldn't
soon.
be able to make a decision on it at that meeting.
Oh.
But what you would be
Well,
able
we
to
could
do
we
is-
could make the decision, then go to the workshop afterwards.
Right, it should be the only thing on your agenda. Or if there are situations that come up at the public hearing, they'd have time to rectify it before they actually came in for the approval.
Okay. So either way, Fran, we could play it.
Okay, play by ear?
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
March 4th?
Too much, does that work with everybody?
Public hearing, okay.
7 o'clock for that.
Okay, very good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's see, anything else under the second page on the notation? Talked about legal, the last one, just as a reminder.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
This is the very first
if-
application.
If this goes to final, when it goes to final,
Yes.
and if it's approved, we
Yes.
just have to have a digital format so we
Yes.
can get that in.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'll take that. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. No, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
All right, so we'll bring in. Is Cory Donovan here?
Seems so simple.
Okay. If the boards, the rest of the stuff we have a lot of procedural stuff, and then the new business. If it's okay with the board to jump.
Sounds like a good idea. Move them up
Yes.
instead of having to hang around.
Come on up. It's your chance in the spotlight.
This is, Donna?
Yeah. This is for the Donovans, map 13, lot 48, an after-the-fact setback reduction. We have the application, everything on this. Our problem we've got with the town is we don't have an established line to follow through with this. So, I know that a prior CEO inspected the foundation, but the CEO's job is not setback. Their only job is the structure, basically, code compliance with the structure. We can't expect the CEO to have surveying. Looking at it, Section 208 is what grants the planning board the authority to do reductions it's reductions, not a variance. But it only references building permits. It doesn't reference anything after the fact. I know where we work, it's a very defined procedure. It comes to planning board. The planning board approves or denies it. If it's denied, it goes right to ZBA. We don't have that here. Tim had an awesome suggestion. Depending on what the decision is tonight, I think it needs to be moved away from us, only because I don't see Section 208 as granting us the authority for an after the fact. But as a board,
The selectmen have looked at these things before, so what I'm seeing here is, it's 68 feet, is what the measurement was.
right,
And this one in 10 years ago,
approximately.
The selectmen have done several of these. Should we?
I
Because it's already built.
know I've seen several selectmen ones on it. The issue is I can't find anywhere the selectmen have the authority to make the decision.
Hey, Glenn, what's your take on who makes a decision on helping this out?
Well, according to the charter, the selectmen don't have the authority to do that. You know, they initiate fines, that is their authority. But it's my experience that it goes to the planning board denies it because it's not their jurisdiction and goes directly to the zoning board of appeals. So you don't look at it as after the fact because ordinances don't establish a guideline. So it goes right to the zoning board of appeals and they handle it and not the selectmen.
Okay, so the zoning board of appeals does have the authority to make or break this.
They do.
But we don't, and neither does the selectmen.
That is also correct.
All right, you catch that? So,
And that's what the bank or the lender would recognize. They're not going to recognize anything that we do, I don't think,
No, you're right.
because we don't have the authority, and that's what you're looking for.
Right.
You need your lender to be on board with.
How close are you on your? I know you're time critical.
I was supposed to close on the 12th. We moved it to the 20th now, February 20th.
I'm not sure when ZBA meets.
You meet as needed.
When I scheduled the meeting and pray that we get a quorum.
I mean, I think one of the recommendations are that we deny the planning board request, the application, but I think we refund the money back to you.
Yes.
That way,
That's what I was gonna
you can
say.
use it to go to ZBA with it. I know you're time critical and everything stinks on this whole situation, but I don't see us as having the authority.
if
has
you
to-
don't,
it
if you
has
don't
to
do
be
it
done
like
right.
this, when it gets to the bank, it's not gonna help you out anyhow. So don't feel bad about being denied by us, because it's just a procedure to get you to the right board that can make it right, and the bank will go, okay, great.
Okay.
So I'd make that as a motion to deny the request and to refund the fee to appear before us tonight.
I'll second that.
I have 2 seconds.
Is
Is there any discussion? That's good. All those in favor? I guess it's all those denying 5-0 on the denial. Thanks, good luck.
You can contact Tammy tomorrow as far as the scheduling goes.
Do you have my number, Cory?
I'm 1074, this is 12 something.
You're welcome.
That was well handled.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
with your
thanks for your
help.
advice.
All right, we have we have the minutes of January 21st. We had a lot of things happening in that meeting.
You have 3 sections to that January 21st minutes. You have the actual minutes. In the minutes are mentioned attachment 1 and attachment 2.
Okay, and those are the checklists that we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to get it converted, so I have it pretty much verbatim.
Okay, which, you working on the 21st?
This is the 21st one, correct?
It's just minutes, so I can work with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's pretty close to what we discussed for that meeting. I think you did a nice job condensing it into a.
As usual.
So how's your short hair picking up?
You wouldn't be able to read it.
You're gonna be like I do, make 2 circles for a stoplight.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from January 21st.
Second.
Have a motion, a second, any discussion? No discussion, all those in favor? 5-0. That.
4-0, actually. I wasn't
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. That's right,
Just for the record.
yep.
I was there, but not on board.
All right, old business, update on status of section 208. Gary sent out, oops, that's not it. Sent out the 208 with us. Trying to find it. My issue with 208 is that I'm a little bit confused on it, is how it reads, in the sense it talks about minor modifications, and then it talks about being approved by the Board of Appeals, but then it goes on to talk about how stuff can be set back. I guess I went online to the state. It's a variance. If you reduce or change a setback, it's a variance. You can call it what you want.
Period.
It's a variance. And they actually there's actually state regulation about it. I mean, all I see is that this basically clarifies what we're doing already,
Yeah.
but our legal counsel has told us we shouldn't be doing.
Well, what I'm not clear, it says in there
No,
that
they're
it's
saying
zoning,
we should
it's a
do.
Board of Appeals,
Just this part is.
so, I mean, we shouldn't be doing any of it.
How was it changed?
Well,
It adds the word ZBA in for minor variations, but then it goes down to talk about lots prior to the 1977, and to me it reads like that's planning board decision, and I think
Somebody also mentioned it was actually 74, not 77.
74.
Well,
Yeah. They corrected me at the coffee shop, I want you to know.
Yeah, see, 77 is the only date I've got.
That's what I've
Whether or
always
not
heard.
they started the planning process for the current zoning ordinance may have been
Okay.
74. I can try and research that, but I don't know how far I'll
I
get.
always said 77.
Yeah.
It does say that lots, prior to zoning
Right.
may go to the following setbacks, but it's like, then in that case, why don't we just create a zone? It's really just, there's some pretty defined areas that have the smaller lots. We could just create, the other way to do it is to create a new zone and have new setbacks for that zone. Because it sort of reads like you can automatically do it.
I think that's what the intent was.
Yeah.
Since previous to you can just go ahead and do it with these guidelines, the setbacks. My fear is that somebody's gonna come back to their seasonal house and find somebody else built the garage 10 feet off, and the town didn't know anything about it. And granted, this probably turns into a civil matter, but.
Judy, I mean, it's,
What's your take?
I don't know. It seems like it's the same thing again. to me.
Tim?
So.
Could I say something? I think that the Natalie's original proposal to change this ordinance so that it went to the ZBA was clear and easily understood, and I thought completely covered what needed to be done. I've seen a couple versions of this, and it just gets more and more bizarre. I think we're actually getting further away from the original intent. And I don't know how practical it is. I'd like to see the selectmen vote up or down on that original ordinance from Natalie that people can understand and read, and just scrap these last couple versions. I didn't see the original.
Makes
Why
no
don't
sense to
we-
me.
it doesn't.
I'm trying to make sense of my.
That's what I get really confused reading it. It's like, is
And I
it?
read it 2 or 3 times, I'm like, what did it say?
I'd like to, Glenn, do you think somebody could get Glenn a copy of the first version? And then
Yeah,
get your
I've
take
got
on that?
Yeah.
Maybe we should start looking at state guidelines for clarity.
Well, I mean, there's a whole. You put in variances, the main variances, and it brings up an MSRA.
Right.
And I actually have a copy of it at the house, but it's
It's pretty clear.
What,
pretty clear.
What-
If you change a setback, it's called a variance,
And
and
Natalie's,
only ZBAs can do variance.
her first ordinance, I think you could have read that and understood it. I think it was just simple and easy to understand. And
But I'm glad to hear somebody else say it, because I read through it, and my first reaction was, well, it looks like ZBA can do this, and planning board does that, but then somebody else told me that, no, it's ZBA. To me, it's a really muddy, yeah. My other thought, do we bring Natalie in? I don't know.
not at this time. I'd like to give Glenn the opportunity to hash it out first.
Yeah, I'd like to
And
look
then
at it first.
Bring us back some recommendations
I will.
between either the original one, or go ahead and publish up the state version.
Yep.
Why don't you give us what you think is best, what we should be doing?
I'll
as a
do that.
board? and then we'll take it from there.
Okay,
Can I approach one?
yeah, okay.
One thing we changed was that she had a 15-foot setback, and traditionally, we've always gone with 10 feet. So we dropped that, and that's her original.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Tim, if you need another copy of that, I'll go on my
I
desk.
probably have it, thanks.
You gotta watch me.
I have several of
Our
everything.
guys got one like this big.
Do you know the date on the original? Was it
Of her
2014?
proposal to us?
Yeah,
I don't.
Natalie's first
July,
version.
When you had the public hearing on it, it was earlier in 2014. It was like August, September. for
That's
the
what I say,
public
July,
hearing.
August.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got all those notes in
You
the
do?
file on my
Okay.
desk.
I bet you do. I know you do.
We have, next on the list, I mean, sorry.
September 3rd, we had the conditional use public hearing.
Okay. So prior to that, we received it.
Yep.
I mean, is that okay? Judy, you okay with the suggestion and everything we moved?
Yeah,
I think it's a good suggestion, we go through with that. All right, we don't have to vote on it, we're just gonna let it go. Update on the driveway ordinance, I think that came out last night or this morning.
Right.
That's gonna, I mean, we're gonna have to sit down and go through that. I have some issues with that, with the ordinance, as presented to us. Some of it's good, some of it's got issues, but I think we should actually have a chance at a workshop to sit down and go through it. It looks like from the town administrator that it's coming to us, but it doesn't have to come to us.
That's pretty much it.
So,
who approves this in the end?
Well, that's the one positive thing I wanted to say about this, was I see at the very end it says, "This ordinance shall be effective when enacted by town meeting." So it sounds like it's going to go to a vote, which
Okay.
I think is a great idea.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think the big thing in the driveway ordinance is there's no time frame on which the public works director has to act, and that's a must.
also, the ICC already has a regulation for driveways.
They do,
So, and this is
way beyond that.
way beyond it. And I'd like to know why. I mean, if the International Code Council already has an established procedure for it, where do these numbers come from?
I thought I did see a 10-day limit, working day limit.
That was on one section, but
For
there's,
him
it's
to
only one
respond to.
place.
Yeah, one
I think
will
that's the
apply.
original, when they apply, it's either denied or given right
Right.
away.
I thought I
That's
saw
not when, after it's all built,
Yeah,
it's wide open. There's no
Hey.
set
yeah,
guideline.
it's all on the third page,
can
first
say-
paragraph.
I mean, if we're gonna have all of these guidelines, I think it ought to say in here, right on a site plan review, it ought to meet these guidelines. And
Yeah.
once it's built, if it meets these guidelines, it ought to get a permit.
Very good point.
But there's no guarantee. You could get this whole thing built, and there's nothing in here that says that the town's gonna definitely end up giving up a permit.
There's the biggest problem I got is it's up to the discretion. It says right in one of the lines, it's up to the discretion. Tom?
There's many things that probably the board needs to talk about on this, but it's very clear on the last page where it speaks to enforcement and remedies. By state law and by your ordinance, only one person can enforce this, and that's code enforcement officer. No one else can. Is it because it's an
No,
or-
because it gets in the middle here.
No, because it's an ordinance.
It's an ordinance. Code enforcement officer.
Well, then why is it?
Why does it say right-
Where's my other copy here?
It says,
Right here.
it talks nothing about DPW.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right
got,
there, it says,
it's got,
Director of Public Works and the code enforcement.
and it's also got
Responsible for enforcing the
here,
order.
You guys are way ahead of it on me than me.
I was here 20 minutes early planning through this.
I guess,
Okay, here it goes. The driveway, even if the driveway meets the specs, it can be denied a permit by the Public Works Director. Code enforcement officer, Public Works Director.
Is it clear who's going to hold the public hearing on this yet?
I think,
Well, as you're talking about it, it's also going to go to road review. And road review, I've asked the administrator if he prefers that you both meet concurrently to discuss it and hear each other's comments. He thought there'd be some wisdom in having you both review it independently.
I agree. I mean, I'm not really prepared to talk about it tonight.
Okay.
Is March 4th, we have the design guidelines. Is, if everybody's comfortable with getting your notes for March 4th,
Yeah.
and we can go through it then?
That's gonna be a lot of work, design guidelines, and you got a public hearing,
I-
design guidelines.
I'd just like to ask one question. I mean, if we have a set of guidelines, and why is it if either the CEO or the public work director feels the need for an engineer? I don't understand that part. We're telling them it's so many feet out for this, it's so much wide, it's so long, and you show on a site plan review that this is the way it's gonna be built per this. Why, unless they decide it needs an engineer, why would you need an engineer?
It's private.
That-
It's not going to impact public
Well,
infrastructure.
No, an engineer should be needed if it doesn't meet these guidelines. But if it meets these guidelines, but yet here it gives them the authority to say, yeah, well, we're not quite sure. I mean, that's what we pay town officials for. We have a certified code enforcement officer. We got a public works director who's been on the job forever. You know, these guys should be able to eyeball this and say, or get out with a wheel or whatever and say, yes, it meets the guidelines. But right here, it says either one of them can say, we're not sure. How can we not be sure?
What else we got on the 18th?
Do we have absolutely nothing yet on the 18th?
Except we already have a public hearing on the 18th, right?
No, they're going March 4th.
Oh, that's right.
Is there a timetable on it?
February 18th, there's a public hearing for the conditional use.
But then what do we
permit.
have after that? Do we have an appointment scheduled?
On March 4th is.
Oh, no,
just-
I'm sorry, February 18th.
February 18th, we do have, there is one other person, well, now that you've denied Cory, there isn't on February 18th after the public hearing.
Okay. Oh, similar situation? Okay. What's your guys' thoughts about doing just starting to go through it on February 18th? I'm not sure there's a timeline. I'd like to keep the thing
Sooner
moving.
the better.
Yeah.
So when's town meeting?
Town meeting's in the summer.
June 13th.
But
Huh?
things need to be posted a certain amount of time before the meeting.
June 15th?
And I ask a
13th.
question.
1/3, 13th.
In your time on the board,
I believe.
have you ever
If that's
seen
the
a
second
public hearing
Saturday
where
in
the
June.
board didn't support
Saturday, June, okay.
the document that they were holding a public hearing?
No, never
No,
made the public
no.
hearing.
It's just kind of an interesting situation, if that's the case. Or, maybe the selectmen will hold a public hearing, I don't know, but
Yeah, they can do that. It can be an ordinance, a selectmen's ordinance. And the planning board could absolutely not be for
be
it.
left out of it.
Yeah. That's done, not a lot, but it is done.
But I mean, we should try to be impartial, but I mean, if we're not on board, I mean,
Then you
is it acceptable for that to come out in a public hearing?
Absolutely. It needs to come out.
All right, good, thank you.
I mean, I'd like to see a document move forward, but it's one that we can endorse. If,
Well, according to this, the DPW can veto a subdivision plan. We can't get out of a subdivision plan without him approving the driveways.
right,
So, I mean, that's a little bit of an encroachment to me.
there's a lot of issues like that.
I'm sitting here reading this, I'm going, we're not gonna build more buildings in town. Period.
I mean, I'm building a house right now up in Waterboro. It's on a 26% slope driveway. It's not my cup of tea coming down it on days like yesterday and stuff, but it's doable. I mean, we're 26%. That ICC is 30%.
26% is doable for sure.
We've plowed up and we've plowed down.
Ever been to San Francisco?
Yeah. Ever been up? What's that? Hooper Hill Road across the street
Yes,
from you?
yes.
Yeah. I've had this
You're going
plenty.
back to Mexico?
All right. So if we
One day you can't even see the house from the road, it's so steep.
going down or up?
Down.
Down. If we discuss it on February 18th, everybody brings their notes on it and goes through with it.
This is for the driveway ordinance?
That's for the driveway ordinance on February 18th.
February 18th.
We'll have that as part of it, a part of the meeting. We'll
Yep.
discuss that.
Good.
Do you want it as a workshop or as old business?
I mean, I don't, procedurally, we're not voting on anything. I'd rather have it as a workshop.
Okay.
I mean, that's, what's the board's thought on it?
It's fine, 'cause we're not voting, so
No.
one's the same as the next,
And
really.
I guess it's sort of potato.
Okay. Well, the only problem with if you don't go to a workshop and you have people sitting here, you have to accept their comments, I believe, because you'll be part of the planning board meeting.
I'm not opposed to accepting
close the
people's
meeting,
comments.
Go to the
No
workshop.
problem with that.
Somebody leave it as old
So we'll
business.
leave it as old business then.
Put it out to the public.
All right, we've discussed the March 4th workshop for design guidelines. Tom, have you found any other ones?
I can bring you others if you wish. I guess it depends on a couple of things, and whatever the board needs, I can get for you like that.
Chicken strip on that.
If you want those that are more of a small town, see, a lot of small towns have different prescriptions for design standards. And some of the ones that are out there are, of course, in historical districts, which are not really applicable to many buildings here in town.
Could you email out there?
I'm sorry, are we talking about for businesses or houses in general? Or
No, this would be
Commercial.
strictly for commercial.
Fine.
And I think that's the way that you want to keep it for your starting point. Might I suggest that on your design, first the board wants to decide if you want them as design guidelines or standards. Secondly, you want to be thinking about do you want to chip away at this and just do the most important things? Let's say like slopes of roofs, okay? A pitch of roofs, the facades of buildings. I mean, I would take another look at the Barrington one, and we can pick out pieces of that, and then I can get you illustrations of other towns, and then you can compare 3 or 4 side by side, okay? But the biggest issue is
What does North Berwick have?
Pardon me?
What does North Berwick have that
They've got some good standards.
General to,
Well, they have more standards built, performance standards built into their ordinance. One of the things that's absent in many of our ordinances are performance standards. That's one of the things that we should probably tackle in site plan review so that there's more clarity about when we're looking at applications so that we can be fair to all applications. Okay? But if you need, rather than just doing carte blanche of other communities, I think we want to determine if you're going to go forward with a full set of guidelines or a full set of standards.
Okay.
Standards are regulatory, guidelines are advisory.
Is it necessary to have a building built, with a peak roof, or are we just looking for aesthetics?
Well, may I address that?
Yes.
To the board, that's a great question. One of the misnomers that a lot of people have about when large franchisees come in to develop is that they only have one steel box configuration. They usually have a half a dozen to 2 dozen templates. And so if you have the opportunity to have guidelines or standards, it gives not only the staff, but it also gives the board the opportunity right up front to say, how many templates do you have? We'd like the template with the brick facade or the stone facade with the pitched roofs. There's no such thing as a franchise. Even Midas Muffler back in the 80s had 7 different templates of buildings. It just wasn't the cinder block building. Okay? And I know because these used to be some of our clients in the past. Sherwin-Williams. We used to handle all the franchise in New England for the franchises of Sherwin-Williams. And depending on the community, we knew exactly what type of template to come in with. And some of them were actually stick-built. Some of them were cinder block. And so having the guidelines or the standards gives you the leverage. And I think that's what you're looking for now. And all of those speak to your question on aesthetics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're trying to force something on a applicant. Most commercial applicants, if they got the capacity to build a commercial building, they have the latitude to build different templates.
I'm sorry.
Hannaford's is a flat roof,
Yeah.
but they have a facade that makes it look
Right.
like it has a pitched roof. But just one more thing. I think that the word standards should not appear anywhere in our discussions. If we expect to get any support for this, like the gentleman we had the other night, the builder, it's guidelines, like you say, work with people, try to get a better look. And I think for the first step, we should avoid the idea
All right,
of setting
because
standards.
it can always be denied, right? If it's
Well,
just a
it's a guide.
guideline.
Not
It's a
based on-
guide.
Well, what happens if they come to us and they meet the ordinances, but they choose not to, you know?
Well, we
our
just try to
guidelines,
negotiate. I mean,
and we
that's
end up
talk
in
to
another,
them.
you know, straight square building, which is what we're looking to avoid.
What typically happens, Dwayne, is that when you, again, I want to speak to national franchises because on the corridors, that's what your surge is going to be. It's going to continue to be more of the same. We've already got 3 other franchisees looking at the community, and I know they all have different templates, okay? The guidelines will give the ability to speak prior to site plan review. I always ask for a set of elevations. Before I even saw the site plan for Dollar General, I had Tennessee send me up the elevations because I was fearful of what the look might be. It confirmed it. Then they posed a question after I asked for the elevations, do you have any design guidelines or standards? And we had to write back, no, we don't. They said, fine, we already know what we're going to put up. The same thing with overhead wires. That's sort of an aesthetic guideline. Dollar General posed to us up front, even before the site plan came in, do you have an underground utility ordinance for wires? We don't.
Didn't even think of that.
So they said, fine, we're going to put them overhead. And so that's sort of the game plan that's traditional with all large national franchises. They pose the questions up front so that they know what they have to deal with and what's required. So back to the question, do you have any leverage with guidelines? Well, you have a whole lot more than you have now. So it's a step-by-step. And then if people like what they start to see, I think we got very lucky with Aroma Joe's. And thanks to Halford having done a real good job with the siting of their building, it gave us even additional leverage. And I think I told Glenn this joke. I said, you know, when Steve came in, I says, we got to get one up on Alfred. You know, we got to make this just a little bit snappier. But you see, and that's the kind of conversation. If you're a gentleman when you approach the applicants when they come in, you'd be surprised. If it starts right, sometimes it ends right.
All right.
Could we approach it from a historical nature rather than saying slope of roof? Because like late 1800s, you've got mansard roofs that are pretty much flat. We've got the Cozy Corner building that's got a very flat roof,
Still looks good.
but yet it fits in.
Look
I
at
mean, I
the
think
Albert
that-
George House. That's
We've
got
got-
one peak roof, everything else is flat. And that's
We're-
been around forever.
All right.
We're doing our shop. It's got, you know, a false front building, so it's perfectly square, but it's got corbels on it. It's got,
Exactly.
so I
We
mean,
call those things dentals, and
I think that's.
It's a
I
crenulated
had to
trim.
go to the lab over by Nassau, and there was a big brick building with a flat roof, but near the top of it, they had, I guess, maybe corbels or dentals
Crenulated
near
trim.
the top, and it, you know, made a world of difference. And I don't think that could be that expensive.
That's the direction I was going in.
So let's look at that, Judy. Then it's when we talk about it on the 4th, bringing in a historical. You know, we'd like to see a historically pleasing, because we could tie it to 2020 too, where 2020 is trying to recreate villages.
One of the ways that we did it in Barrington, rather than using the word historical, we said traditional New England type architecture. That gave us a lot of latitude if we were looking at colonial or a whole variety of forms of architecture. So it gave us even more
But I
latitude.
want to get away from being so specific.
You see, what you're speaking of are sort of the architectural details, which incidentally are relatively inexpensive because
That's what I thought. Yeah.
dental, you can buy modulated, but in 20-foot strips and just paste it on.
You actually buy a foam.
You could buy the foam in Georgia.
The
It's
PVC,
amazing
they make it in PVC.
how inexpensive it is. But I think what we need to do is kind of maybe make a shopping list of what's the most important things. I'm hearing some New England architectural details, pitch of roofs, maybe facades, and then look at them and how you'd want to frame your guidelines. Once you tell me what you'd like to see as your priorities, okay, then we'll put them in sort of a guideline format, and that'll be our starting point, if that's what the board would like.
Another thing we need to look at is signs. I mean, look over, well, by the pawn shop in East Waterboro. That's a really neat building. But they've got so many hideous signs everywhere that you can't even see the building.
So we're all set for March 4th. We'll have work on that for
Give us
ideas.
some ideas, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey, do you mind emailing out the Barrington one again? If you've got it, could you email it?
I don't have it digitally. It's all in a hard copy. If
Okay.
you need extra hard copies, we can either scan it in or I can.
Hey, do you mind doing that? Scanning it and emailing it?
No, we can do that. It may break down a resolution because it's already second resolution. We're working from a second
I can still
resolution.
read the words.
But I think what I would suggest to the board is if you go through the Barrington one, rip out the pages because I've kind of broken it down by fenestration, by pitch of roof, and there's like a sheet on every page that addresses some architectural feature. Pick out your favorites, and then we can modify them and make them work for Waterboro so that they're reasonable guidelines. And I think that's what Sean was talking about. You know, not making them too extreme, but at the same time building some sort of nice detail in.
I'd like to follow your lead, Judy. I would absolutely see once you pick a few things out of the things and we'll push them forward. I think there's nobody better at setting a pace for us than you.
I don't know about that.
All right, so we got March 4th. We'll just so everybody comes ready to go on that. I'd like to hold off on election of officers until we have a board, a definite board decision on that.
Yeah, I'll just keep putting it in because it just tables it from one meeting to the next. That way it doesn't get.
Yeah, and just for the record, people at home seeing me, my resignation was tabled by the selectmen pending a meeting with them. So things are still pretty much up in the air for a couple of the members that resigned.
Along with Frank Allen.
Yes.
We do have the two communications. These are basically what we talked about from the minutes. Our discussion, finding of facts and the standards.
The notes, the workshop notes, I just wanted somebody else to take a look at them to make sure I got everything that night because there was so much going on at that workshop.
This is the one that came out, you emailed out.
Yeah.
Did anybody see anything? I thought it was a pretty good summary of what, it wasn't verbatim, but the verbatim would have been 38 pages long.
Yeah.
A small book.
I think it looks pretty good. Anybody's...
I think that's the meeting.
It's really meant to be a summary more
Yeah,
than anything
okay.
else.
Yeah, it was just that word. They set the table.
Okay, yeah, I was there for that.
All right, so that's kosher on that one. The other one is just our checklist.
Just your copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already got new business moved up earlier in the night. We do have our meeting February 18th, which we'll be also discussing the driveway ordinances, and then March 4th is our workshop. For that.
Can I say something before we adjourn?
Please.
I went to last night's selectmen's meeting, and they talked about how they were going to initiate the 2020 recommendations, even though it hasn't been voted on yet. And Gary had some pretty good ideas. They think, to dump it on the planning board probably isn't very practical. And he talked about maybe forming a subcommittee with some of the 2020 members in the planning board, involving Tom and Glenn. And so, they're talking about spreading it around, and it sounds like they're really trying to make it work. So I thought it was some good ideas.
Mr. Chair, regarding Dollar General, Travis requested a statement from me saying that the Dollar General use of the Dollar General store will be a legal use in that district. He wanted the words of the planning board to be amended, and I said the only people that can amend those words is the planning board. So I asked him to send a formal request of what he wanted. Apparently, we emailed him the findings of facts, and
Okay.
that wasn't clear enough to his superior. You know, it doesn't say clearly that that's a legal use.
It
in
said
that-
conditional use. Is that the problem?
No, I don't really know what that problem is.
Well, I noticed on something that I had at the top, it said site plan, but it also said / conditional use, and I was a little confused by that.
And
I wonder if that's what he's talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, it does say it up there.
Yeah, it
conditional
does.
use.
I
So
saw
where
that.
did we get that from?
Yeah.
That's
This
just
is
that
one
standard.
Yeah, this is a format that they've all gone out on. If I need to take and change that, I can change that and send them a new copy.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's
Yeah,
what the
maybe.
stickler is.
Why we wait on it?
Because it's not a conditional
Not
use
a
in that
conditional
zone.
Right,
use.
it's, yeah.
It's a
I can
permitted
take
use.
this, I'll take that off and send them a new copy.
I bet that's what he's
We
looking
might just want to add, we might want to add a sentence that says, yes, Dollar General, this is a legal use in that district. Because that's a specific line that he requested.
Okay.
You need that as a motion, or?
Yeah, you have to amend it. You have to amend the wording.
I'm gonna still abstain from anything coming from Dollar General since I have been this from the beginning.
So what we're doing is amending the finding of fact?
Like we may amend
Yeah.
our decision, right?
Yeah, you're gonna,
Yeah.
Amend our decision.
you're not gonna amend the decision, you're amending
Okay.
the clarification.
And actually, I didn't vote on that either,
Okay.
so we don't
So
actually
he
have a
wants
quorum.
the sentence to say, Dollar General Store is an approved use in that zone. He wants your findings of facts to say that somewhere in the findings of facts.
Do we say permitted use because that's what we use in our zoning? Is that-
Yeah, I would think that would work. So if you want to use that statement.
I guess we could do it on this, statement number 1, does the proposed use meet the definitions and/or requirements set forth in the zoning ordinance? And we could say, the proposed development and lot meet the, what was your word?
Permitted?
Permitted use for that zone. Because we just said, do meet all zoning bulk and space
Yeah,
requirements.
that should work.
And you could, in your motion, you should define it as a clarification.
Okay.
Why is it you can't vote then?
Well, I didn't vote
It
on
wasn't,
that.
it wasn't originally on it.
So there's actually 2 out of 5 members can't vote on this. So although we do have a quorum, I wondered maybe you guys could just vote on it, the 3 of you.
I make a motion that we make a clarification on the statement of findings. Number 1, the proposed development for Dollar General. What was your word again, Judy?
Is a
Is a
permitted use.
permitted use.
Is a permitted use in that zone,
Yep,
Yeah.
and it meets all bulk and space requirements.
keep it simple, perfect.
And delete conditional use from the finding of fact.
White out.
Yeah. No, I'll do up a new document and send it out.
Yeah, it's
You have
not
it,
a
Karen?
conditional use, it's
No, I'll
permitted
get it
in
off.
that
As
zone.
soon as Dave gets me
You
the
know how
video,
we
I'll get
list
it off the
permitted
video.
and then conditional and,
They just talk
Okay.
fast.
So is, I mean,
I need
that's
to
the
know
motion,
who
is
sends
it, is that okay with anybody? Anybody want to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, Lee seconds it. Motion and a second, is there any discussion? We're all set with it? Okay, all those in favor? The 2 of us. And 1 abstention and 1 member not present. Something like that. Tom?
My very last thing, and I promise it's short, is that I would anticipate sometime after 208 is resolved, that very shortly thereafter, there'll be a discussion about amending the site plan review ordinance. I want to make sure that we have planning board representation and a point person so that the discussions aren't carried on without you. I think you need to be part of the whole process because you, in fact, are the ones that are reviewing and voting on site plan reviews.
Yeah, I think that goes back to our original discussion about, everything's, Andy's point is everything's in the open and everything's done there. And we have, right now, we only have 3 people listed that can review it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that list changes, then we need to have, until that list changes, it shouldn't change.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's important to have, if the board could talk this through, because I'll need to report it back to the town administrator. We should have a point person who Tammy or I or Glenn can call upon. What is likely to happen is that there'll be a staff discussion, including the town administrator, to start talking about whether or not the current site plan review ordinance is going to be modified, amended, or if it's going to be scrapped and start from fresh.
I almost think start from fresh isn't a bad.
Well, you know, that's my position is that the town would benefit greatly by starting from fresh. This has been patched quite a few times. It gives the appearance of being effective, but the more I look at the details and the way that you can twist and turn in there, and the fact that there may be additional staff people in the review, one of the things that's quite obvious now is that we should have a planning board member on site plan review. Before we get to that state, I'd like to see if there's any one of you that Tammy, Glenn, or I could call upon if that staff meeting is held to talk about site plan review. We don't have a date for it, but I would be willing to guess it'll happen in the next month or so. So
Are you talking about during the day or?
Again, I won't be the one that's probably calling this meeting, so we'll have to.
It seems like a lot of that's done during business hours, and you know, a lot of us are working.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I could, if it's the board's preference, recommend to the town administrator that if you want to be involved, that it be an evening meeting, and then we'll just pick a mutually convenient time where staff can meet with one or the whole board. I personally would like to see the board involved with the process, so that everybody's on board, everybody's on deck at the same time, so that we have clarity. And that's how we always end up with the best ordinances, is if we have everybody participating up front. And I think that's what's led to some of the complexity of the entrance and driveway ordinance. You know, one committee's working on it, and the planning board hasn't really worked on it at all in terms of the composition of it. So.
Just to back up a little bit, I think we should start from scratch. And I think we should go with Glenn's suggestion of kind of put together what we're looking for and send it to SMRP, get it back and fine tune it.
Exactly. I think the benefit before the people who have to be the most satisfied with this, I think, are the people who have all hands on deck, and that's staff and the planning board. So we need to really build the skeleton, put some meat on it, make it progressive. Also build in some standards that are absent in the current one that allow too much judgment without standards.
Right.
And by putting standards in there, it makes it easier for the board, makes it easier for the town, and it also applies the fairness doctrine to the applicant. Every applicant gets treated fairly the same way.
That's my biggest thing is I think anytime we have left to the discretion is writing, we're open.
It gives the town exposure that's not necessary. Starting from scratch is a good idea. I would almost say let's work on it internally, and then by having the Regional Planning Commission look at it, it'd be great because we got a set of neutral eyes looking at it they've done these types of ordinances before. It's just a matter of we don't want to copycat another community.
But they have templates that we can work from.
Yeah,
and they also know what's the.
Customize it so it fits us.
Yeah, excellent. Exactly. Tweak it so.
I didn't realize this was 27 years old.
Yeah, it's old.
And it's been patched over and over again. And
Right.
There's just too many patches in it, and it's only when we work. I've been working with it for 7 years now, and I'm finding each time it gets a little bit more challenging because there's too many crossovers and too many patches in it.
Nice the board to think about something off the beaten track, is how to get the packages to the board members, in front of the meeting long enough so you have time to review it.
That's been a bugger up
Can you guys think of a good plan? I mean, we're ready to deliver them to you last week.
I know, like, in the one town that we're working in, we have to submit stuff 21 days in advance. And that's strictly so that the board can get it within 3 days of our submission. So the board has it 18 days before their meeting. And, I mean, that's a long lead, but on the other hand, I know about it because I read it. But that board has had my application for 18 days.
Yeah, but my question is, how does the town get it to the board members?
So you're saying the board is not familiar with the stuff?
You know, like
Well-
electronically or hard copy is what we're saying, Don, or?
No, I mean, last week, we were ready to deliver the package to you, just so everybody would have it ahead of tonight.
For Carpenter Estates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion, I don't think that's necessary. I think it's your responsibility to pick up the packages here at the town hall.
See, my only issue is I am gone before town hall opens up, and I don't return till town hall closes.
Well, what about emailing out packages?
I mean, we
Try to
can't.
get a plan on the email.
You
Yeah.
can't get a site plan on there. We used to get smaller ones, not like that. All right.
I think for most of us, it's not hard to stop by and pick it up.
Yeah,
Then,
it's fine with
you know
me.
what? All right. I guess just an email saying packages are ready, and we'll figure out how to get, one of us will just take an extra one.
Are they still open Tuesday nights?
Yes,
Yes.
till 7.
So
Tammy
like,
always
You know,
lets us
we'll
know
just
they're
call
ready.
each other, and if
Yeah.
not gonna be around, one of us will hold on to one.
Yeah, you
Just
usually
keep that.
see the email come out, and then if I need to have the packets ready at the same time, I'll have them ready Friday afternoon, so you have all
All
weekend to
right,
take
that's a
look
good
at
way
it.
to do it. I think we just send a blast out saying that it's ready, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's up to us to
And
figure
we'll
out
get
how to
there.
get
Yeah,
here.
we just need to get there.
And Kurt, in your case, my vessel, which is harbored in Waterboro, I'd be happy to just ferry it over to you.
Someone of you can meet me halfway. We'll leave it on a stump along Route 5.
Yeah, I'd be happy to take that little junket.
That's a good old,
Is there anybody that could pick it up for you?
Not really. Both of us are coming in. We get home 6:37, so.
Okay.
Just in that one case, could we mail it out?
I mean, we could Tuesday nights.
We'll
I mean, if you
figure
send
out-
it out Friday, I'll pick it up Tuesday.
Yeah, but then you'll have it the night before, you know.
I'm good.
That's all
Is
he
that
needs.
okay?
I'm good.
All right.
let's just go for it. Just tell us when the packets are
We'll
ready.
try to
We'll
get
figure
better
out how
at
to
it.
do with it.
Heck, most of them I've been doing Tammy and Al before the
I think
meeting.
it's all
so
we can expect out of you.
These are
Is just let
professionals.
us know as
I know what I'm looking for.
Possible it's
I'll
ready.
try and start
The rest
doing
falls
that
on us.
earlier on Friday morning.
Great.
Okay. That's what we've got for our agenda this evening. Does anybody else have anything? New business? Agenda items?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second. All those in favor? 5-0. Thank you.